Welcome to the Controlling 101 video. Here you'll learn the basic information needed to perform the controller role. Once you have grasped the data given in this video, I recommend you move on to my next video titled Controller Role 102, which will expand on the information given here. The purpose of the controller role, and this is taken directly from the on-duty queue-up menu in the game, is to disable enemies and to help recharge teammate power pools. The power sets that allow for both damage roll and controller roll are mental, gadgets, light, quantum, and munitions. The most important mechanic and phrase you need to know about the role is power over time, also known as PoT or PoT. It's the very first power in all the controller power set trees. This mechanic allows you to restore power to yourself and your teammates in a sustained manner. Sustained meaning over a period of time. This also allows you to perform other duties aside from powering the team. The green lightning bolt underneath your name tag is indicative of power over time being active. It must always be up during any group instance. If you cannot consistently keep this bolt up, you will fail at reaching your highest potential as a controller. You will need awareness. You can use a timer with an app that has a beeping sound, or a power from within the game that has a 20 or 25 second cooldown, which can also work as a double ticking tool. You can also create a well-timed rotation, which will consist of you knowing how long the casting of your powers and weapon combos are. One single cast of power over time lasts for 25 seconds. You will give a total of 6 ticks of power for those 25 seconds. Each power tick will occur every 5 seconds. So on second number 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 is when your power tick, your PoT tick, will be given to yourself and your teammates. The very first time you cast PoT is what starts the timer and grants the first power tick. I will cast PoT and I'll label the PoT ticks so you can witness what I just explained. Because power ticks are granted every 5 seconds for the 25 second PoT duration, if you cast PoT at any time in between the 5 second intervals, you'll delay power to the team. What will happen is the PoT timer will restart. It will go back to second number 1. But the second number 1 no longer grants a power tick because you prematurely used it. Aside from that, I'm spamming my PoT power, which is Sticky Bomb. You see no PoT tick occurring because, again, I'm not allowing 5 seconds to go by. Every 5 seconds you will grant a PoT tick. What matters is that you have to make sure at least 5 seconds goes by before you can hit PoT, and this can work with you reviving someone, you hitting a switch. But power over time does not stack with another controller's PoT. If you're running 2 controllers in any instance, there's been an update so that the controller with the highest vitalization, the highest PoT tick, will take over. Then you could spam your PoT power all you want, it will not overwrite that player. The only power over time that stacks with this normal controller mechanic power over time is the Battle Drone Supercharge from the controller power set of gadgets. Just to quickly finish up on the power over time topic, your power over time tick scales with your vitalization. Every 14 and in some cases 15 points in Vite will increase your PoT tick by 1. Do note you need significant increases in PoT ticks to make a difference on your power out. More detailed info on this will be on the Controller 102 video. 1, 5, or even 10 PoT ticks will not make or break your performance. I wrote it in text, but I want to make quick mention of it verbally. If you do run with another controller for whatever the reason in an instance, it's always a good idea for the non-PoT controller, if that's you, to carry PoT, either in your loadout or in an armory, just in case if the PoT controller gets eliminated from the boss fight or is kicked from the server or whatever reason. You just want to be able to quickly provide power to the team should they not be there. Just to recap, every controller power set has 2 PoT powers, but you only need to carry 1. The PoT powers and gadgets are Taser Pull and Sticky Bomb. In Mental, it's Telekinesis and Terror Tendrils. Light has Boxing Glove, Light Claws, and Impact. Quantum has Tachyon Burst and Graviton Field. And Munitions has Laser Net Launcher and Chain Grenade Launcher. Aside from having power over time up as a way to restore power to yourself and your teammates, using your weapon to build up your hit combo meter is a second important source of power to feed yourself. It's essentially your second power over time. Never strictly play off PoT alone, or if another controller is present, never play just off their instant power heals. You will limit how much power you restore to yourself and or your team if you do so. Building up your hit combo meter also builds up your supercharge, which can be used to access a power heal supercharge ability that will restore more power to yourself and again the team. There are 4 tiers in the hit combo meter. Pay attention to the combo meter located underneath your enemy's name tag. That indicates what tier you're in when you are regenerating power. Tier 1 is white and restores the least amount of power. Tier 2 is blue and restores moderate power back. Tier 3 is orange and Tier 4 is yellow, and they restore higher amounts of power. Each tier grants 9 ticks of power. When you first start the combo, you trigger the 9 ticks of power regen automatically. When you enter a new tier, the 9 ticks refresh. They'll give you 9 new ticks, scaling with the new tier you just entered. Just a tip, make sure you end your combo building after the first number of the new tier. That is what will trigger the new scaling. You can reach higher tiers every 2 or 3 weapon combos depending when you are throwing a debuff, potcast, revives, or performing objectives. You do not have to reach tier 3 or tier 4 every time. Not all weapons have the same capacity to regenerate power quickly. Some weapons reach the higher tiers faster than others, with and without weapon mastery. Because this is the 101 video and I'm prepping you for immediate gameplay, I recommend you unlock weapon mastery on Brawling and Martial Arts, so that you can spec skill points into unlocking Shuriken Storm. You can reach tier 2 in 1.5 seconds, tier 3 in 3 seconds, and tier 4 in 6 seconds. If you do not have enough skill points to unlock weapon mastery for Brawling and Martial Arts, I recommend you get hand blasters and spec down the tree into pulse beam. You don't need weapon mastery. Again, you don't need to unlock weapon mastery for pulse beam with hand blasters. It's the fastest hit combo builder outside of weapon mastery combos. You can reach tier 2 in 2.6 seconds, tier 3 in 6.3 seconds, and tier 4 in 11.8 seconds. It is recommended you do your best to spec into weapon mastery and use brawling, not just because of the fast regen, but because if you hit your powers within the weapon mastery bonus window, you'll reduce the cost of your powers, which further benefits you as a controller. In brawling's case, Shuriken Storm Mastery reduces power cost by 9% if you hit your power within that window. Next on the list is the Instant Power Heal, also known as a power transfer, a burst heal, recharge, defib, blue, mana heal, and power dump. For the record, yes, people do say power dump. This ability transfers power to your group members based off your vitalization to either 1 or 3 players. That depends if you are in line of sight and if you're running 2-player content or 3+ player content. There's a formula for the instant power heal that I will include in the 102 video. But it costs power to use this transfer ability, and that's why you lose power. The instant power heal does not give you back your own power. It's not based on the appearance of power bars or a percentage, but rather the numerical value of your teammates' power in their power pool. It does not go to the closest members either. This ability has very far range, and if allies are in line of sight, they'll receive your power. Its power healing effects can only be prevented by line of sight issues. Line of sight issues would be something like an object or a wall blocking your character from your teammate. The instant power heal scales off your vitalization just like your power over time tick and weapon regen.
All the instant power heals have a cooldown of about 1.8 to 2 seconds. They all work exactly the same. What they do is they give you a personal buff of 77 might and 62 precision for 6 seconds in either controller or damage roll each time you cast it, but this buff does not stack. You just restart the buff timer with no negative effects. You can also give power in damage roll, but not to the same extent as you can be in a controller, and that's due to less Vite in damage roll gear. The instant power heal can clip animations because it's a supportive and self buff power. So you can clip your debuffs, your PoT powers, supercharges, weapon combos, trinkets, and get immediately back into power healing. Just a note though, any power can clip weapon combos. All the controller power sets have one instant power heal, and they are located in only one tree. Gadgets has Defibrillator, which is in the Tactics tree. Mental has Psychic Empowerment in the Telekinesis tree. Light has Recharge in the Support tree. Quantum has Temporal Extortion in the Time tree. And Munitions has Reload in the Glory tree. The final power healing ability within the controller power sets are Power Heal Supercharges. These supercharges transfer burst power heals to your teammates in 5 or 6 seconds, and ticks of power. It varies depending on the supercharge you use. The amount of power the ticks deliver can be similar or the same to the amount of power your instant power heals transfer. Nearly all of them cost 50% supercharge. Gadget's Battle Drone is the only one that costs 35% supercharge because it is a power over time type supercharge ability, while the others are short duration strict burst blue heals. During an emergency where your healers, tanks, and or entire group is low on power, this is the perfect ability to cast so that you can help the group recover power quickly in a short amount of time. All but one controller power set has a supercharge that grants a shield for 8 teammates while it gives power. The bonus to this is that as a controller, you can focus the supercharge on providing protection to the group while also benefiting from the power heals. The power sets with 8-man group shields and power heals include Mental, Quantum, Munitions, and Light. There is only one type of this supercharge in the power sets, and it is located only in one tree. Getting into the power heal supercharges within the power sets, we'll start off with Gadget's Power Over Time supercharge called Battle Drone. It's located in the Tactics tree and has the cheapest supercharge cost, which is 35%. It lasts for 30 seconds and delivers a big burst power heal on the 30th second, which is when it explodes. Starting on second 1 to 30, the drone delivers a small tick of power per second. The big burst power heal can occur earlier if the drone is eliminated early by an enemy. If you're knocked out, the drone will not deliver the big burst power heal. It can also heal members of the same faction not in your group with the small power ticks, but the burst power heal does not go to them. This supercharge scales with your vitalization. The drone mostly attacks enemies aggressively aside from feeding power. Although it does restore the most amount of power on paper, or in this case on the scorecard, the drawback to the battle drone is that if the group needs power right away, depending on where the drone is on the cooldown, the team is going to have to wait. Try to predict places where you can use it. The plus side is you can constantly keep this up if you're using your weapon regen because it's so cheap. Back to the group shield power supercharges. The strength of the super shields is based on 100% of your restoration, plus 100% of your dominance, plus a flat 10 for your base, and finally all that times 1.5. This will be covered more in the 102 video. The following supercharged shields give either 5 or 6 ticks of power, but in total the power delivered is the same. At base, which is 0 Vite, the numbers are just altered because of the different amount of ticks. The totals at base vary from 498 to 500 power out. This too will be covered in the 102 video. The 5 tick supercharges just deliver a slightly larger chunk. Mental has Bastion in the Telekinesis tree. It costs 50% supercharge, shields 8 members including yourself, deflects some damage, and gives 6 ticks of power. Quantum has Event Horizon in the Space tree. Same supercharge cost, same 8 members, deflects some damage, but it gives back 5 ticks of power. Light has Group Shielding in the Support tree, same info, and gives back 5 ticks of power. Munitions has Active Protection System in the Glory tree. Same info except it gives 6 ticks of power. Additional info on Power Heal Supercharges includes Word of Power, which costs a power point and is located in the Iconics tree. That's something that you can spec into if you're a Gadgets player and you want a burst power type supercharge. The burst power heals occur 3 seconds after you first use the power. You can clip the animation with your instant power heal. Word of Power sets up an electric PI and gives small amount of heals. It delivers 5 ticks of power to all 8 members. If you'd rather not waste a power point, you could use a skill point and grab the burst power heal supercharges within your movement trees. They all immediately deliver 6 ticks of power to 8 members. They're exactly the same, except they have different animations. Speedsters have speed drain. Flyers have vacuum bubble. Skimmers have gale. And acrobats have backflip. Although more detail will be in the 102 video, it is worth mentioning that the home turf mods from your base will be helpful. In regards to weapon regen, the replenishing adapter weapon mod will be a good choice. For instant power heals, the neck mod escalating replenishing procs will be ideal. And for supercharge, you can use the extended supercharge in your hand socket to expand your supercharge pool. This concludes part 1 of the Basics Controller 101 video. Keep an eye out for part 2, which will cover debuffs, control effects, skill points, and R&D modding.